Hey, what's going on everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com back today with another daily crypto update. As per usual, I will be going over my normal schedule of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Ripple, Neo, Vertcoin, Monero, Omise, and Lisk. All of those in a more detailed technical analysis on TradingView in just a second. If you haven't purchased cryptocurrencies yet go check out Coinbase. I have a referral link in the description where you can get $10 free when you sign up. And let me go ahead and update you all on what's been going on, with the general market and the altcoins. So we're seeing a little bit of a pullback / consolidation for, a lot of the bigger cryptocurrencies. As far as some of the other altcoins go, EOS is doing pretty well, up 20%. We've got NXT, I'm not sure what this cryptocurrency is all about, but it's up 70%. So pretty big move today for that one. Ardor up 20%, and Vertcoin actually doing really well here. I hadn't spotted that. So it looks like it's actually fully breaking out. That's actually a pretty interesting move. Now, I won't spend too much time, like I said, it seems like there's a bit of consolidation, and I'll talk about that more. But we did see a bit of a double top for, Litecoin especially, and even a bit Bitcoin, which could either mean that we're going to see a bit of consolidation here, or maybe, the pullback that I've been calling for could come into play at this point. So I'm going to go over all those levels, and of course I'll talk about the pretty big Vertcoin breakout actually. So as you can see, Bitcoin, now 2 days in a row here with some pretty flat doji candlesticks. They are green candlesticks, which is better than if they were red, but it is, a signal at this point that we could see a bit of a pullback or, consolidation. Now, as far as the indicators go, we're still uptrending on the MACD. RSI still looking okay, but we are pretty high up on both of those indicators. And, we do have now decreasing buying volume for about 4 days now. So that's not a good sign, and I think we're going to get our first red day here. Probably a little bit of a pullback or consolidation. If it starts dropping more, of course, we're going to look for a bounce first off this uptrend line right over here, and we'll see how it acts around that. But I do expect it to move lower, in the next day or two at this point. And will we see the bigger pullback that I've been calling for? It's definitely possible. Like I said, what I'm looking at is, are we going to be able to break above this previous high, our current all-time high basically, which is $11,395, right? If we're able to break above that and hold above that, then, we're pretty much making higher lows, higher highs, so the uptrend is fully in motion. But if we're not able to do that and we start moving lower, then we have to be concerned for a bit of a pullback / maybe a small downtrend where we could drop to some of the lower levels, right? For now, though, it's a bit early to tell. Like I said, it looks like just a bit of consolidation or a bit of a pullback, but it's really that high that we want to see a break above before we're out of the woods, I would say. And let's go over to Ethereum now. Talk a lot as well about Litecoin, because it did have even more of a double top. Bitcoin didn't make it to the previous all-time high, so it's not officially a double top, but it did not manage to go and reach those levels. However, Litecoin did manage to reach its higher levels, but pull back down from that. So let's see. Let's start with Ethereum. And Ethereum, flat doji candlestick here. Not, the most concerning sign, because it's in a little bit of a different scenario than Litecoin and Vertcoin. It already had a pretty big pullback. It bounced a bit. And now it's kind of just testing this uptrend line right over here, right? So we just kind of have to wait and see what it wants to do. Could it bounce off that? Of course. It could also, move lower, maybe come back and test the $430 area. There's not much support, to be honest. So it really depends. It did already test that once, which is good. And at this point, it's kind of going to base itself on how much strength there is in the crypto markets, right? If we see everything start moving lower, Ethereum will probably take a little bit of a hit as well. And other than that, if it does have some more strength, maybe it can even go back and test that $500 mark. But for now, it's an indecisive candlestick, which is a doji candlestick. As far as the indicators go, we are moving lower on the MACD. We're probably going to get a test of the orange line, see if we can get a bounce off that. And we are also starting to trickle down lower on the histogram as well. RSI, kind of playing around with the downtrend line at this point. So we'll see if we'll get a break below that. And time will tell at this point for Ethereum. These doji candlesticks are also known as indecisive candlesticks, which means that it can kind of go either way, right? So on to Litecoin now, which, like I said, had a little bit of a more concerning double top formation, unfortunately. And the good thing is that we did actually manage to move higher than the previous high, which is a good sign. Previous high was 103.54, and we went as high as 104.75. So that is a good thing, but it pulled back pretty strongly from that, right? We have a long upper wick, which means that the buyers weren't able to sustain those prices. So we did get an inverse hammer candlestick, which is a bearish candlestick. And from there, it looks like we're going to consolidate a bit. For now, we have not broken back below this 90. Let's see, about 98.10 area, which is kind of our support level right now. And we'll see if we'll break below that. That'll probably send us down to the high of this candlestick, which is 94.88. I'm actually going to go ahead and put in a horizontal line over here so you can get an idea. So if we are going to break below that low of 98.10, we're probably going to go and test the previous, our next support level, which is going to be 94.88. And at this point, is that looking likely? Like I said, we're just going to have to wait and see if it breaks through this. But we're either going to get some consolidation, I would say, or we are going to pull back to that $94 mark. And from there, hopefully we can get some kind of stronger bounce. But we are pretty far away from the uptrend line, unfortunately. We should definitely get a bounce off the uptrend line, but it is pretty far away. So, like I said, I've kind of been expecting a drop, and now we're seeing some consolidation / some topping candlesticks. So that's obviously not the best sign. As far as the MACD goes, still uptrending. RSI though moving a bit lower here. I'll go ahead and put in a little bit of a downtrend line that we have in the making. So that's going to be this line right here, and a little bit of a symmetrical triangle even right now for the RSI. We'll see to which side that breaks. But I'm not a big fan of this double top formation and the inverse hammer candlestick here that we got for Litecoin. Now moving over to Ripple. Let's see what's been going on with Ripple. So Ripple down slightly, still holding above the middle band, the brown line right over here, currently sitting at 23 cents. That should act as some pretty strong support. Unfortunately, we did cross over the orange line on the MACD, obviously a bearish signal, and a bit of a downtrend should start now on the MACD. We turn negative on the histogram. RSI not really doing much. At this point, we'll want to see if we can hold above the uptrend line right over here, get a bounce. We're still holding the middle band. If we fall lower, we're either going to get a bounce off, the downtrend line / this uptrend line right over here, or just maybe going to get some consolidation right now. We're pretty much in the center of the upper Bollinger Band and the lower Bollinger Band, so that's completely possible as well. And, it makes sense. Ripple likes to consolidate, right? Just look over here. It consolidated for quite a bit in this 20-cent area, and it already has been consolidating now for a while in this 24-cent area. So that would be, a normal kind of price action for Ripple. Not bad price action, it's just consolidation, right? Let's go over to Neo, see what's been going on with that. And Neo, pretty flat candlestick today, up 0.44%. Now, we are moving lower on the histogram, very similar move to over here it looks like. So just take a look at what it did over here, nothing too drastic, just moved to some, lower support levels and kind of just consolidated for a bit. So that's definitely something that we could see over here, maybe a bit of consolidation in this $34 mark could be pretty feasible at this point, especially considering that we have the uptrend line that should serve as some good support. So I would expect a bit of consolidation here until we get closer to the uptrend line, which should serve as some, upward momentum and support. We are facing resistance at the middle band, currently sitting at 35.59. This is the brown line right over here. So that's our, primary resistance level right now. And we are once again in the middle of the two Bollinger Bands, right? So consolidation does seem likely here for Neo until it gets closer to the uptrend line, at which point it could find some support there. But really going to have to pay attention to the MACD, see if we can get some kind of bounce or flattening before we can really see that it's going to start kicking back up in price, right? So it looks like for a lot of these altcoins and cryptos, some consolidation at the least, maybe even some pullback. Vertcoin though might be the only exception. Now, I believe Vertcoin had some halvening news. People have been talking to me about that, so that definitely could have made the price bounce. And, I'm not keeping up with all the news on Vertcoin, but no matter what, this move is, very bullish. Now, what happened here is we actually broke above the previous all-time high, $7.23. I've been calling for this for a while. Of course, I knew that it was going to consolidate a bit. That's what happened, and we finally are moving higher. It actually really took off here. So the main support level, is going to be the previous all-time high, which is the $7.28 mark. Sorry, 21 cents it looks like. I'm not saying we're going to come back and test that right away, right? At this point, it is pretty much in full breakout mode. We are trading very high above the upper Bollinger Band. That is something to be aware of. So, those are hard prices to sustain. If we come back and get a pullback to the previous all-time high, that'll be completely healthy, good pullback, and nothing really to worry about. But overall, this move is very significant, right? This should really put a lot of strength into Vertcoin, and really, I mean, now sky's the limit, right? There's no previous resistance levels. It's just to where the buyers buy it up. We put in a high today of $8.23, so obviously we'll want to break above that again. But I can see this, it may not happen in a straight line, of course, but it should move pretty quickly near $10, and we should see a test of that relatively soon, right? Like I said, it probably won't be in one shot, but now that we broke above this final resistance levels, at $7.21, we're really not that far away from $10. So I will be expecting Vertcoin to test that, sometime in the near future. As far as the RSI goes, nothing really much to say. It's trading above the 70 line, which is good. Pretty much just fully took off on the MACD and histogram here. And yeah, I mean, like I said, maybe we'll get a little bit of pullback just because we're trading pretty high above the upper Bollinger Band. But overall, this should be the start of a move towards $10, right? Very bullish on Vertcoin. Really happy to see that it's holding its, uptrend and its bullish momentum here. Really good sign overall. And, I think that it's probably one of the best altcoins out there. I've said this before, but it really is performing better than most at this point. Now, let's see what's been going on with Monero. So, looks like Monero is also getting a little bit of a topping candlestick, doji candlestick here. Still hasn't come back and tested the uptrend line. Actually bounced off our support level over here at 196.76. So that's a good sign, hopefully it can hold above that, consolidate in that area. We are still making higher lows and higher highs, which is a good sign. It could go either ways here, maybe we could see it climb slowly higher, or it could consolidate, or we're going to come back and test the uptrend line. I am pretty bullish though overall for Monero, and I don't think we'll get some kind of, major drop. It looks like this uptrend line is pretty sturdy right now, and just look at how well it bounced off in the past. It seems to be holding, and until we break through that, there's really no reason to be bearish on it. MACD looking great, obviously replicating the nice uptrend that we have with the price. Nothing really much to say about the histogram, and as far as the RSI goes, we still are trading above the 70 line. So Monero, although it is, not making a big move today, it's still holding up pretty well, right? Going over to Omise Go now, and then finally our last cryptocurrency, which is going to be Lisk. So let's see what's been going on with Omise Go. Looks like it's actually not doing too bad today, up almost 4%, and really getting closer to this $9.83 resistance level. I've been talking about this for a while. I saw that once we got the bounce here, I could tell that we were going to come and test this pretty quickly. That's what it looks like is going to happen. So I think we're going to be able to break above that finally in the next few days and be in this range, at around $10. That's going to be basically the new range to pay attention to, right? The next big resistance level, at least, is going to be that $11.65 mark. So definitely, repairing a lot of the technical damage, finally getting a beginning of a bit of an uptrend as far as the middle band goes, and, even as far as the price, we're finally starting to move back in a clear upwards direction after, this pretty long downtrend. So that's a very good sign. RSI looking pretty good here, back above the uptrend line, and MACD still moving upwards. So looking pretty good here for Omise Go. Actually, it was struggling for a while, but it's finally starting to regain some momentum and strength, and really, beginning to uptrend again. So I'm looking excited to see how much strength we'll see in the near future. But let's see what's been going on with Lisk. And looks like it's up about 1.5% today. Bounced off the support level over here at $7.63. So we will face resistance at this middle band right over here. The brown line currently sitting at $8.15. RSI not really doing much. It is, kind of consolidating even a bit. Now, a couple things going on here. As far as the price action and stuff goes, I don't think we'll see any kind of major move just yet, because we can see the upper and lower Bollinger Bands closing in on the price, right, which is going to tighten the range and create some consolidation. And overall, we just have quite a bit of resistance over here, right? We have this $8.60 level. We have the previous uptrend line, which is going to act as resistance, and of course, just a lot of previous candlesticks here that are going to act as resistance as well. So I can kind of see some consolidation in this, more or less $8 range in the near future. But one thing that I do want to point out, which is bullish, is this, MACD that's starting to flatten out and hook back over, right? We can see this even more clearly on the RSI that's really moving upwards here. So that's a good sign. Are we going to see a crossover, and then, usually that's followed up by a big, breakthrough in price as well in the near future? Maybe. It really depends. This could just be a bit of a temporary, flattening, and then we might move lower like we did over here. So it is a little bit early to tell, but overall, I do like how it's starting to hook back over. That's usually a good sign, and as we get closer and closer, we'll get a better idea if we're really going to get a crossover. That'll probably create a pretty strong move in price towards the upside. So that's definitely something that I'll be paying attention to as we move forward. But with that being said, everyone, this is the end of the daily crypto update. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day.